Welcome to my LUAG at Lunch Student Guide series. Today I will be discussing Andy Warhol and his impact on the pop art revolution. I hope you enjoy my presentation. Andy Warhol was an American pop artist born and raised by immigrant parents in a neighborhood of Pittsburgh. Warhol was one of the most famous and revolutionary artists of his time due to his vibrant and moving artwork. In 1945, Andy Warhol attended the Carnegie Institute for Technology in pursuit of studying commercial art. Warhol began his career as an illustrator for Glamour magazine, which set him on track to become an influential figure in the pop art revolution. Warhol focused on the use of photography and drawing as a medium for the display of different brands and celebrities in his work. In 1961, Andy Warhol showcased the first version of pop art in a collection of paintings that display various commercial goods. The iconic Campbell soup painting was first showcased in 1962, which led him to developing more pop art paintings with other commercial goods and even celebrities. To create his iconic pieces, Warhol used photography, silkscreening, and printmaking. He opened up a New York City art studio in 1964, which was known as The Factory, where he worked with numerous high society figures. It seems as though the entire world loved Andy Warhol until 1968 when he was unfortunately shot. He suffered major injuries and nearly died, but this did not halt his career in any way. Warhol continued to work on his art and spread the pop art movement. He was known to be one of the first artists to digitally generate his art through an Amiga computer in 1984. In 1987, Warhol unexpectedly died from complications after a gallbladder surgery. That same year, the Andy Warhol Foundation was founded in light of his art and creativity. In 1994, the Andy Warhol Museum was opened in Pittsburgh to honor his memory and artwork. It contains a vast permanent collection of Andy Warhol's work. Now we will take a look at various pieces from the Lehigh University Art Gallery's permanent collection. Warhol was one of the most recognized artists of his time and practically reinvented art in the midst of his career. He was the most responsible for the rise of pop art, which has had an impact on art for decades. He took commercial products and celebrity photos and turned them into the most recognizable pop art pieces known to the world. His strong understanding of American pop culture helped him create a different approach to art which really appealed to other artists and regular people. His interpretation of culture and daily objects truly revolutionized the art world forever. Andy Warhol was one of the first artists to create a name for his studio that was used by everyone who referred to it. In this factory, a vast range of creatives came together and collaborated to produce art, which was also new to the art world. People came together because of what Andy Warhol was doing. He was an influencer of his time. Through his techniques, Warhol changed the definition of what it really meant to be an artist. Warhol contributed to the popularity of silkscreening as an art medium. The artistic method pertains to reproducing an image multiple times with different colored versions of the image. I added my own Andy Warhol-inspired artwork in the presentation, which I created for one of my design final projects. Another way Andy Warhol revolutionized the world of art is the introduction of the widely known concept of 15 minutes of fame. Warhol once said, "In the future, everyone will be world famous for 15 minutes," which he could not have predicted any better, especially for the current era of social media. He proposed that celebrities' fame would come and go every couple of days, and people would be famous for who they are and not just their talents. Warhol understood a different perspective on fame and self-image, which was not yet introduced at the time. Warhol also used his art as a historic and chronological diary. His pieces were inspired by various events such as Marilyn Monroe's death, the last executed electric chair death sentence, and post-Hiroshima occurrences. These works of art were his way of documenting events that were important to people at the time. This strongly influenced artists and inspired them to do the same with their work. Andy Warhol was a true revolutionary artist that changed the world forever with his art. He will forever be remembered as the father of the pop art movement. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed my presentation.